All right, a lot of people out there asking me what is next for Canelo. All right, now, right now, while I was waiting on the medical clearance, apparently Canelo Alvarez, he went to the doctor, got the medical clearance. I mean, a lot of people are making, fun of Gennady Golovkin, saying, well, why hasn't he got medically cleared? Like he took such an ass whooping that, he hasn't been cleared by the doctor yet. But I look to see him cleared very soon. I don't think either guy took serious punishment in that fight, just some cuts. But what's next? My prediction, I'll get right to it. I think is going to be David Lemieux, an in-house fight. David Lemieux looked good. In his last fight against the Gary O'Sullivan fight, that I think it was first round knockout, just looked good, very good. Now, Oscar goes on to say, there's nobody in mind yet, De La Hoya said, of a possible opponent, though the former middleweight world titleist and fellow Golden Boy fighter David Lemieux, like I said, there we go, David Lemieux, 44 with 34 knockouts, is a strong candidate and coming off a spectacular one-punch first-round knockout of Gary Spike O'Sullivan on Saturday's undercard. Okay, so like I said, that's my choice. Now, he says there are plenty of choices. De La Hoya said, once I get the green light from Team Alvarez, we will talk to him and I'll get moving on it. We're going to talk to our partners at AEG and the MGM Grand, who jointly own T-Mobile Arena, and explore the possibilities like New York, the Garden, things like that. He says, you have to fight at the Garden sometime in your career. It's where all the greats have fought. Now, where was that mentality for the Gennady Golovkin-Canelo Alvarez fight? I mean, I guess, the Garden won't hold as much as T-Mobile Arena. At least I don't think it will. I guess you'd have a higher gate at T-Mobile. But, it's funny how they took a lot of heat and a lot of pressure because they're always fighting at T-Mobile or in Vegas. And now, all of a sudden, they want to talk about an in-house fight outside of Vegas. Look, it's just, I try so hard not to be biased or whatever, but my God, I mean, really, so, I don't know. Anyway, he says, talking about HBO, we strongly feel this was Canelo's last fight with HBO because his contract is up and my lawyers strongly feel the contract is up, Oscar said. But the great partners that we are, we will always give HBO the first right of negotiation and the last look. Now, I'm thinking a contract is a contract. Like, what do you mean you think it's up? Like, I mean, doesn't it specify in your contract? September 15th is your last fight or whatever, or whatever it is, your 3-fight deal, 4-fight deal, that's your fourth and final fight. Like, why is there any question? Like, that's weird to me. And also remember, Golden Boy and Canelo paying, basically got sued because Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions stole Canelo from another promotional company, and they got taken to court and they had to settle for what was like $8 million. It was a lot of money, millions. It might have been, in the double digits, 10, 11, 12, but I think it was like $8 million because he was still under contract with another promoter when he signed on with Golden Boy Promotion. Like I said, lost that case. So now, is there something fishy going on here? And he goes on to talk about, De La Hoya said he's planning to talk to Richard Plepler, the chairman and CEO of HBO, about the situation rather than HBO Sports Executive Vice President Peter Nelson. Okay, I have to call into Richard Plepler, and very soon we will discuss all of that with him, De La Hoya said. Like I said, HBO has been family. Yes, they have. Like family to me and Golden Boy Promotion. We just want to do what's best for Canelo's career. I haven't talked to Peter Nelson, but I will be talking to Plepler. We want to listen to everybody, but we always want to listen to HBO first. Now, do you hear this? I mean, you can tell like these two are in bed with each other. I mean, it is so completely, let me back this up, completely obvious, like they're just in love with HBO. And but the thing is, where does Canelo go? What are the options? What, Showtime? I strongly feel HBO is going to be the more committed to boxing than ever. Okay, now that AT&T and the merger we had at AT&T people at the fight, or we had AT&T people at the fight for a reason. Never count out the 1-800-pound gorilla, De La Hoya said. Maybe they've been on a hiatus for a bit, but it's understandable. They've been going through this merger, and there are changes, so it's understandable. We've been patient. We've had other outlets turn to where we can stay above water and keep our fighters active, like with our fighters on Facebook and ESPN. So remember, they already have this lower level deal with ESPN, kind of like Top Rank. So they kind of have a foot in the door already with ESPN. So so he says, so we're managing. HBO is our family, and they're always going to have first and last. They've always been good to us. It's up to the promoter to get Canelo the best deal, blah, 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 blah. You know, so, I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they throw Canelo a ton of money and make them like the premier one and only star attraction of HBO. You know what I mean? Like they all just cash in on Canelo. What's going to happen though? What's going to happen? What if he loses? Like, you know, man, I just really, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what they should do. I need to think about it at this point because, you know, you got to look at your mandatories. You got to look at your competitions. I mean, promoters, we all know they use these networks to duck each other. I mean, look at the Mayweather-Pacquiao situation where, I mean, it took, you know, so much, you know, they had to work together. They had like these special meetings in middle of the night meetings just like to get the two networks to merge together. So, you know, I don't want to see anything like that happen where, say, Canelo is with, you know, HBO, Charlo's with Showtime, and they can't fight because of the networks. You know, you're on the wrong side of the river, wrong side of the road, you know, as Earl Spence likes to say about Terrence Crawford. You know, he's on the wrong side of the road, so it'll never happen. You know, the whole Al Heyman stable. So it just sucks. I mean, you know, so I don't know. Like I said, but they probably will go with HBO. Maybe they'll do like a one-fight deal, you know, just to let it marinate, as they like to put it. But I can almost guarantee you one thing. You're probably going to get David Lemieux and Canelo pay-per-view. And they're already talking. It will be a pay-per-view. Now, Oscar did say that just without a doubt. There's just no two ways about it. It will be pay-per-view December 15th, Canelo. Okay? But where's it going to be? You know, probably HBO. So that's the thing. And like I said, David Lemieux all the way. And now the trilogy, rumor has it that if there is a trilogy, of course, it'll be May 5th or somewhere in May. Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez, and Abel Sanchez said, well, look, Golovkin, he's not going to fight until there is a rematch. And if there's not going, or a trilogy, and if there's not going to be a trilogy, then we'll move forward. But things can fall apart. You know, who knows? Maybe Golovkin takes an opponent in December. You know, maybe he takes on, you know, a Billy Joe Saunders or even a Charlo. You know, we'll see. We don't really know what team Golovkin is going to do at this moment. I think right now they just got a bad taste in their mouth. Like a lot of Golovkin fans out there have a bad taste in their mouth right now with boxing because, you know, you had just two just highly controversial decisions that went into Canelo's favor. And but, you know, here's what I see. I see a fake king that will be dethroned, okay? And when Canelo falls, he's going to fall hard. And that's the thing, you know. I'm talking like Pacquiao Marquez style, you know, that knockout, pow. Because, you know, this can only last for so long, and these guys have gotten away with murder, you know, in the boxing community. You know, they've gotten away with just about anything you can get away with in boxing. Okay, well, you're probably thinking, oh, well, he got PDs and they suspended him. Yeah, it was retro dated or whatever 3 months prior. It was a slap on the wrist. It did absolutely nothing to affect his career. In fact, that suspension benefited Canelo because it gave him a little bit more time, you know, to wait out Golovkin, and he got a little bit older. So, you know, I don't know. You know, look, boxing, I love to watch Canelo fight. I actually, like, even what you're watching right now, I love to watch it. It's all the politics, man. It's all the Golden Boy shit, the Oscar stuff, and all of that goes with it. But one thing I do know is when Canelo falls, he's going to fall hard. So who do you want to see Canelo fight next? What do you think is next for Golovkin? Leave it below.